Last time on Roadkill, Motortrend's Kia Rio 5 mopped up the Autocross with the Rotsun here. Today we get revenge.
We threw a turbo on this junk and headed out to the Goodguys show, the Spring Nationals in Scottsdale, Arizona, where we are gonna kill us some Kia.
Our 71 Datsun 240Z came from the guys at White Flag Racing. This is a $500 rust bucket of a Datsun. It's got a Chevy 4.3-liter V6, a Junkyard 5-speed, also out of a Chevy S10, and the rear end came from a WRX car that we found on eBay.
We kicked the 240Z back into action for the last episode of Roadkill because we were convinced that it was going to just destroy everything in our autocross shootout. But unfortunately, we only got a couple laps out of the Datsun because it broke, and it didn't beat the Kia Rio 5. We just couldn't have that.
And what's the best way to fix a beat-up Datsun? More horsepower. So we decided to turbo this thing.
There's your guy, off a power stroke of some kind.
Normal people, they call up a manufacturer and have them recommend the right turbo for their engine. But this is Roadkill. We buy whatever junk is laying around. So our turbo came from a 7.3-liter Ford Super Duty diesel.
But that is the right turbo because it costs $250, which is a theory that holds up until
you realize that that costs about $300 and we have two of them.
And a blow-off valve.
Lipstick on a pig.
In the alternate world of Roadkill time, our mind told us that we were going to be able to get this turbo installed in about 2 days. That turned into about 2 weeks. Finnegan ended up having to spend a couple days working on this thing by himself, most of which was spent just running around town picking up all the little nickel and dime stuff that kills you and slows you down. But he also got a lot of things fabricated, like the exhaust side and the cold air tube.
I have created the world's first Datsun 240Z to Chevy V6 turbo header. Oh. Yep, I just did that. Okay, now the world's first Datsun 240Z to 4.3-liter Chevy V6 header for a turbo is done. I'm particularly proud of this build because I don't get to TIG weld that often. And turboing this car meant I got to sit down for hours TIG welding aluminum and stainless pipes together. And I gotta say, the welds don't suck. This car is actually a pretty sturdy build.
You know what I was thinking of? What are we actually doing with this car? We're going to the Autocross, right?
Yeah.
Have we spent 5 minutes on the suspension?
No. It could use a sway bar in the back.
But it'll have a turbo on it. That's choice.
See, right now people can hate on this. They're like, oh, why'd you put a 4.3 in here? But the moment you slam the hood and they see the hater pipe come through, then they just have to shut up. This is the nicest thing we've ever fabricated right now. I figure the rear end blows up before the engine block breaks.
Center section or axle?
Axle,
definitely. Yeah. Okay, did the water pump thing hit the turbo? Is that what that was?
Didn't you hear a bang?
That's like the starter falling off. That's something really gnarly. And it turns out that we had a sunken float or something wrong with the needle and seat, and the engine got filled up with gas, and we hydraulicked the number 3 cylinder. I pulled the spark plug out of it and it just gushed gasoline. And now we've got gas in the oil as well. So it's 2:30 in the morning. We're supposed to be in the dyno tomorrow, and we were about ready to have a really good time. And now I think we're both pretty dejected. The only thing left to do is load it up, take it out there and deal with it at West Tech in the morning. Change the oil there. Now, normally when you take your car to a chassis dyno, you want to show up completely prepared with the car running, driving, ready to strap down and make power. I've got to say that we had more to do on this car than any vehicle I'd ever taken to a chassis dyno ever. Talking to Steve Brulé here at West Tech, we were really freaked out that we had cranked the starter over and hydraulic the cylinder, and he was saying if it didn't try and light off so that it wasn't banging the cylinder under actual engine power, it's fine. So So we'll take that as a 100% guarantee. Wow, dude. I think I estimated leaving here at 6 o'clock, which means midnight, so we're exactly on target.
Time for the payoff.
Finally, we had the V6 running better than it ever had, and it was time to make boost.
Come on, baby, stay together. All those problems fixed, and now we have a 430 pound-feet, 387.4 horsepower mule in that car. So
At the rubber. That's about a 450 horsepower V6.
And it sounds and smokes like a Mack truck.
It sounds like a Power Stroke diesel.
This is about the time we realized we were going to need a scavenge pump in the oil return line out of the turbo. So we came back to West Tech the next morning and put a tune-up in the car so that it would survive on 91 octane, because up to this point we'd been running it on some 118 that I had left over from Bonneville.
God, this is the moment I've been waiting for. All that welding, all that grinding, all that work, finally get to drive the Rotsun.
So we made a couple trips around the block in the 240Z, and what's amazing is even in the rain, this thing wanted to hook up hard. We tried to do some burnouts, and it just wasn't smoking the tires. We tried harder and were rewarded with a broken axle shaft. The shortened axle shaft broke right on the weld that we added in the last episode. Instead of hitting the road, it was back to the shop.
I'm not exactly sure why, but Finnegan got this new, used, and beefier center section for the Datsun. Even though we didn't break that, we broke an axle. Ever since Finnegan fell in love with this car, we've been trying to do things a little bit more right on it. And what do you do when you love something? You gunk it. So I'm gonna clean this thing up instead of just installing it as a complete sconge pit. Ooh, gunk.
Want to see how late we are? That door won't stay shut. That's Freiburger's solution right there. This is about to get welded to the Rotsun.
You know, sometimes you run out of time and have to butcher things together, and then other times, for the sheer sake of style, you've got to butcher them together.
It's really a theft deterrent when you think about it. You can't attach a padlock to this, but who's gonna see this and go, yeah, I want inside of that car? Nobody.
All right, it was nice knowing us.
See you in about 10 minutes.
You gonna break an axle right here?
No. You bolted everything back together on the rear end, right? Axles, sway bars.
Oh, we didn't tighten the sway bar end length.
Really?
Nope.
So like the nuts are gonna fall off?
Right.
Oh, that was a short trip.
We lived so far. It's not much of a life, but we did live.
Would you like a car wash?
No? Okay. And now it's puking all over the ground. Hop in, I'll push.
Well, you want me to be in the car, you know, if it bursts into flames, you're safely out to the side?
Yep. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay.
Doesn't want to go into gear. How fast are we going? I will coordinate the exhaust note to our speed since I don't have a tach.
75.
We only made it maybe an hour away from there, and we stopped in Cabazon, California, where there's this really good, sort of high-end casino. We figured, you know what? Let's valet this thing.
Oh, y'all done built this thing?
Yeah. Just put the key in the ignition right there.
The guy was completely unfazed. He hopped in the Datsun like it was his own and drove the thing away.
All right. Goodbye, Native American goodness.
Oh, that's a good sound. That's like bacon for my ears.
As soon as we hit the highway, we found out that this thing cruises. We thought the V6 was all going to be shaky and rumbly and a big problem. Nope, this thing hauled.
70 degrees out, blue skies, straightest road on the planet heading to the desert. Got a turbocharged Datsun. Best day of work ever.
Not coming down.
Survey says $1,134. So we got out of the hotel this morning, reasonably nice hotel, and Finnegan's toolbox is stolen. Lots and lots of heritage there and lots of tools. So we had to buy all of this stuff. This all started with a $500 Datsun. We just spent more than that on screwdrivers.
So after all of this, we finally arrived at the Autocross at the Goodguys Spring Nationals at Westworld in Scottsdale. The Goodguys shows are super cool, but one of the things about them is that they don't allow import cars. The exception is if you've got an older one that has like a V8 or an American power plant like our Datsun does. But when we pulled the 240Z in the front gate, man, did we get a lot of stares and a lot of hate. People did not want to see that import car there, especially looking like absolute garbage. And they hadn't even seen the Kia yet.
All right, Chief. What year is this?
71.
71. All right. I think you're legal. Head on in.
He didn't want to let us in.
He did. He tried hard.
He's like, they don't have any paint on that thing.
I've never been on this side of the fence before. All of a sudden, I'm an import car guy.
The best part about this whole trip was that we had used Facebook to let everybody know we were coming. And when we arrived at the autocross course, there were Roadkill fans there, waiting to check out the Rotsun and meet us.
Is this a Datsun for Roadkill?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Dude,
How's it going?
love your show. Dude,
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. A couple of the many Roadkill fans that showed up at the autocross that day were Jake and Eric Rozwarski, who saw that I had lost my grandfather's toolbox on Facebook and generously brought me their own. Oh my God, this is too nice.
That's really generous.
Are you sure you want to give this up?
Yes.
Eric and Jake brought me their toolbox. It's good car karma, and I'm trying not to cry.
What are we gonna do about the Kia? I say one run and done.
Yeah, we only need one lap in this, and I don't really want to drive it. So.
Oh no, you have to. I'm
No, feel
I'm
free.
not touching it.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
Oh,
What is that?
it's paper.
You were watching kind of like a half paper. Maybe I wanted scissors kind of thing. No cheating. Don't look down there. Look up. Look me in the eyes.
Ready? Smash!
All right.
And it was super cool that our tent was set up right next to the starting line so that we could watch all the action on the track. But we didn't. We decided there was even more to do on the Datsun. First of all, the tech guy said we had to have seat belts. Imagine that. So we threw some seat belts in that we had bought at Pep Boys, and we also threw in some gauges. We changed the oil, and finally we were ready to go thrash this thing.
There, look at that. And tell me there's anything wrong with it.
And staging it up next is David Freiburger from Hot Rod Magazine and the Roadkill 71 Datsun. I know what you're thinking. Hot Rod Magazine with a Datsun? That's just un-American.
I haven't even watched out here, which means I'm highly likely to get lost. This will be embarrassing.
They're ready to go. They got their seatbelts in, and they are getting in line. I don't want to say to do something awesome because I don't want to lie to you all.
He's never even seen this autocross course, so he doesn't even know where the first turn is. And by the time we got here, the transmission really didn't want to go into second gear. So pretty much, he's hosed.
Wow, this thing has power.
A 4.3 V6 low dollar at its finest and is running a turbocharger out of a Ford diesel pickup truck. Yes, it's as hideous up close as it is far away. I guess they're afraid that their own doors are going to get blown off because they have a barn door latch holding the door on the passenger side. My hat's off to the Roadkill guys as they're washing the track for us.
I got lost.
Hey guys, that thing is dumping fuel out of it.
The good news is it's race fuel and it's already evaporated.
I understand, but
This thing has way more power.
You lost to a Pinto.
Oh, I got lost out there.
I'm just kidding. I don't even think they had a timer on for whatever reason.
Oh, really?
They weren't taking you seriously.
Wow, this thing has a lot more power. When it takes off, man, it motors. The big part of it is just getting lost out there. It's tough. I took the exit the first time and then had to dive back onto the track, so it's not a clean time.
So the thing that made my performance all that much better is that Finnegan was making fun of me for it, the announcer was making fun of me for it, and then when Finnegan lines up in the Kia, which is embarrassing to begin with, he goes out there and got completely lost on the Autocross, making me look like I actually knew what I was doing.
See, remember, it's All-American Sunday tomorrow. Did we give him a sobriety test?
Am I going the wrong way?
Do they have driver's ed in California anymore?
Now,
I have no idea where I'm going.
We have ran 2 Roadkill cars, and neither one of those boys can figure out how to run the autocross course.
Did you put some signs up or something?
I know. I didn't get that lost.
Was I in the infield or something?
Oh, completely.
Okay.
Oh, so that you don't go there at all. Oh.
At this point, we really hadn't gotten good numbers out of either the Datsun or the Kia because we got so lost on track, but we had a good opportunity. Rob McGregor from No Limit Engineering is a guy who builds these really radical handling pickup trucks and who dominates at the Goodguys Autocross series. He decided to put his butt in the seat, and he went out there in the Datsun pouring smoke and raw oil because he didn't turn on the scavenge pump for the turbocharger. He laid down a 77-second time, which was pretty competitive with a lot of the muscle cars and late models that were there.
After Rob ran, I jumped behind the wheel to turn a lap, and I really blame him for breaking the car because I got about halfway around the track before the fan belt came off, knocked the oil line off the turbo, and covered most of the racetrack in dirty oil.
Smoke is not your friend on the autocross course.
Make sure it's not on fire.
This part of it?
Yeah, that came off and hit an oil line. So I think we're pretty much out of your hair for the day.
Oh, that's an
Hey,
easy.
at least you didn't get lost.
I didn't get lost. So all I gotta do is tighten it,
Yeah.
degrease this thing, put oil in it,
Oil
and we're
in it.
back on the road.
Yep. He was doing good. Looks like he didn't even lose his way, right up to the point where the thing burst into billowing smoke.
Oh, dude, I was freaking Fittipaldi out there right up until this
Right.
exploded.
We ended up putting a new fan belt on the Datsun, but ran out of time to make another pass on the Autocross.
But we were stoked to find out we get another shot at it on Sunday.
Well, today I think we finally have our poop in a group. We're going to get around the track with the Datsun. We're actually going to know how to drive the thing. I think we're going to put Finnegan in it because he's got more track time than me at this point. And maybe we'll improve on that 77-second time that Rob laid down yesterday. Maybe not. He's a pro driver compared to us. But what we're already seeing is the Datsun is outrunning some of these late model cars. So, I don't know. I don't think we'll embarrass ourselves today.
All right, here we go. Try not to suck. All right, come on, baby. Let's not get lost.
High-tech fabrication on the course right now. I love how they made it so the front turning signal park lights come on every time they hit the brakes. Not everybody can do that, or would want to. There's a nice lap out of Finnegan, a 75.055. Actually has him in 8th position for the day.
8th place out of every car
You're
here.
8th out of every car here this morning.
So the very first lap that I didn't get lost, we ran a 75, 8th
Yep.
place out of every car here.
Yep.
Wow.
You wonder, how good is 75 seconds really? Well, it was good enough to beat a handful of nearly stock muscle cars and a handful of brand new hopped up muscle cars. But 75 was not at all embarrassing for our junk Datsun.
all that was left to do was to find out, was it really faster than the Kia? And we didn't have a lot of time to do that because nobody around here wanted the Kia on that racetrack. So I only had one shot at it.
And he runs a 78.8 and a 1 second violation.
78.8. Lower than the Rotsun. I'm the fastest man alive. Thanks, Motortrend. Beat your car. Finally. Only took 2 tries and a whole lot more money.
So you might ask, how impressive is it really that our 400 horsepower Datsun beat a brand new Kia Rio? Well, when it comes down to it, the Datsun is way faster in a straight line. It actually hauls when it comes up on boost. And the Kia is going to kill it every single time in ABS braking. The fact is, we took a Ford Power Stroke diesel turbo, made it run on a Chevy 4.3 liter V6, stuffed into a worthless 240Z, and yup, we outran a new rental car.
So what did we learn? Everything deserves a turbo. The Rotsun will outrun the Kia, and autocross racing is a hell of a good time.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, none of the other guys, dog, could have drove this.
I love the Datsun now. I think we've never spent more money on a roadkill car, and that's probably why it works pretty well. Where'd the zip ties go?